and welcome to the second edition of the Toronto Vegetarian Association's Healthy Eating Cooking Demos. We're here again at Whole Foods in Toronto at Avenue Road in Bloor, and we're very grateful to Whole Foods for donating the ingredients here today for the heart healthy recipe, which is a vegan chili. Low fat, high fiber, good for your health, good for diabetes, good for heart health. So for those of you who are following us along on this healthy eating series with the workshops and seminars that we're doing, here's the recipe to go with it. And today my co-host is Amy Sivington, also a volunteer with the Toronto Vegetarian Association, and I'm Nimisha Raja. So welcome, and let's get going. Okay. Well, today we're making a very, very healthy chili. Now you may have a chili recipe and you think, oh, well, that's not exciting. But we're doing a few things differently here tonight so that we're taking the extra fat out, and you'll see, like we did last time, there's no oil in this recipe. So we're going to start by heating up a little bit of water. So just about a quarter cup, you know, give or take, and get the pot nice and hot. And that actually replaces the oil. So we're actually sauteing or steam frying. We start with a medium chopped onion, and Amy, you did a fabulous job of chopping the onions.
Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna just give the onions a stir, and you know what? This gives you the same effect as sauteing with oil. We're going to add our carrots next, and our celery. Okay, so I've chopped up 2 to 3 carrots, depending on how big they are. And you know, this is, again, a very forgiving recipe. A little more of this or a little less of that, and we're totally fine. So we've got 1 onion, 3 carrots. Did we do 2 or 3?
There's 3 carrots.
Okay, there is 3 carrots in there. Okay, so, you know, again, use your judgment, and of course it's going to depend on how big a pot you have. But what you're aiming for here is a good amount of vegetables. Okay, so we've got our celery and carrots and our onions in there. Next, we're going to add the soy sauce, and we've got 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. I'm going to let the vegetables cook until the carrots are not mushy, but softened enough that when you poke them with a fork, the fork goes in. What we're doing is a healthy recipe that diabetics can eat. Okay, so if you're battling high cholesterol, high blood pressure, what we're doing today is using all the ingredients that are good for your heart, that are good for diabetes. If you'll notice, everything we've got in here has fiber in it. Celery has fiber, onions have fiber, carrots have fiber. And of course, when we get to it, and we will very shortly, the beans are an enormous source of fiber. And beans are also protein. So this can easily serve as a main course. Now, the other ingredient I'm going to add in here is, can you pass me the measuring spoon?
Of course.
Is about a tablespoon of prepared mustard. There, it's oozing out here. This is going to need some help. And I'm not usually one for measuring, but you know, just because we're doing this on camera, actually, you know what, forget it. I'm not going to measure because it's not working. We're just going to squeeze in about a tablespoon of mustard. I'm just eyeballing it here, folks, but if you like to measure it out, you can. We're looking at about a tablespoon. Now, if you find that the vegetables are starting to stick, you can add a little bit of extra water, but otherwise, you know, the vegetables will also release their water. So now I can see just by looking that the carrots aren't quite soft yet, but I'm going to add the peppers in. You can add them in a little bit later if you like, if you want to preserve the crunch of the peppers. But I like, in a chili, I prefer things sort of cooked. So I've added the peppers, and I'm adding about a tablespoon.
Yep, that's a tablespoon.
That's a tablespoon there of chili powder. Now you can go pretty generous with the chili powder. It adds wonderful flavor, and of course that's what makes chili chili. is the chili powder. And I am actually going to add a little bit more water. Use your judgment. A few tablespoons at a time. You don't need a lot. And this will also help the vegetables cook further.